Hey everyone, and welcome back to this final current year in stupid part. The current year is dead! Long live the current year! As you see, I have switched the scenery a bit. The disco floor in my almost finished disco room made the perfect match for the 70s style disco outfit. For those that missed the first part of the current year in stupid, the link will be down below. And so yeah, we left off after June. So next up we have July. That will be presented by Terry Bull and Jason for his second video. Share your shit, guys.
Sup bros, I'm Terry Bull, and I hope everyone had a great, or at least highly amusing, current year, and wish everyone a happy new year in 2017. For the month of July, I think that the most current year thing that happened was the feminist backlash against the NRA's ad campaign towards women to encourage them to arm themselves against potential attackers and rapists. This was apparently bad, according to feminists, and not empowering at all. The NRA is dead wrong about women's and guns is one such article, which I think perfectly reflects the response. This one by Nicole Pina on Ms. Magazine describes the video briefly. I will provide a link in the description for you bros to check it out. But basically, she summarizes the video done by Dana Lush, a conservative radio host and quote feminist, who warns every rapist, domestic abuser, violent criminal thug, and every other monster who preys upon women that their next target will be armed, trained, and ready to exercise their right to choose her life over theirs, which is seriously one of the best puns I've ever seen in one of the things like this. Pro-choice. Perfect. Lush's words are provocatively direct and threatening, but it's unclear who the video is really trying to scare, she says. And then she goes on to say that, though aesthetically interesting, the imagery never quite connects with Lush's words. Wouldn't the video's message have been better conveyed by displaying a diverse range of women proudly wielding a weapon or visiting a gun store? Well, bro, if you've ever watched any gun store advertisement, that's what you'll get, so they probably wanted to do something different. Yet instead of doing just that, the NRA chooses to stick with a series of images that seem to communicate two very polarizing messages. Either it teaches men to fear, not respect women for the weapon they may be carrying, or it reminds women how often violent aggressors stay hidden in crowds ready to attack. Well, actually, it might be trying to do both. Although I'm pretty sure the only people who would assume the latter are people who constantly worry about that to begin with. But, bro, this isn't meant to target men. This is meant to target rapists and attackers. Not every man is going to do that. Seriously, you're generalizing a very specific message, and that's wrong. And then she goes into a bunch of statistics which I really want to go into, but I don't have time to explore fully in this video. But I will go on to programs such as its Refuse to be a Victim seminar also use a crime victim narrative to attract new members, while the NRA's Women's Leadership Program continues to raise thousands of dollars for its cause. Bro, it's insanely hilarious that you're trying to criticize their use of a crime victim narrative to recruit when feminism does that same fucking thing every day. You do not get to pull the moral high ground card here. And then they criticize how the NRA has never been for gender equality. And then she concludes the article with, despite the flood of information that proved their intention to be disingenuous, Lush is eager to use vaguely feminist sentiment as a recruitment tool. This is what empowerment looks like, she says, giving viewers the most intimidating glare she can muster. Millions of American moms, grandmothers, and professional women taking their lives and their family lives into our own capable hands. Never mind of women's intelligence, self-respect, or ambition. According to the NRA, empowerment, real empowerment, is an experience privy to those clutching the grip of a gun. Bro, in a one-on-one combat situation, your self-respect and ambition are not going to mean fuck. Intelligence certainly will if you know what to do already, but seriously. But yeah, I think this is a perfect example of our current year. Have a happy new year, and peace out, bros.
Hello, motherfucker. Okay, originally I was going to talk about the Ghostbusters movie from 2016, the all-female Ghostbusters with the empowered Ghostbusters, and how much that was not a great idea and it didn't make any real money and it kind of actually flopped and wasn't actually funny. But then I remembered this.
I'm gonna come sit in your lap. How's it going, man? Good to see you, man. You're looking sexy. Hey, how's the revolution going? You guys start the revolution?
We are indeed, Alex. The revolution is afoot. Welcome to the Young Turks.
All right, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to give you the highlights. This was one of my favorite moments of July 2016. Here, presented in shortened highlight form, is the Young Turks blowing up on Alex Jones. Enjoy.
You haven't seen? Oh my God! You didn't see me? I don't exist. You didn't see me.
It's Alex Jones! Oh my
Look
God!
at this for you right here.
It's Alex
rape.
Jones!
It's Bill Clinton that says rape.
Alex
Oh God! That's the big no-no. The Alex Jones thing.
You want to take my show over? I'll take yours.
You don't know anything.
All you do is lie. You're known as the biggest liar in media. You're the biggest liar in media.
Give him a lie, loser. There's nobody watching this show, dude.
Guys, can you get out of my sight, please?
Don't get too mad. We
We gotta go.
Well, first of all, he's actually mad. You're actually really upset.
Sorry, can you get out?
Hey, don't touch my camera.
You want fucking attention? Get off the stage, you fat fuck! Get off! Get off! Yeah, you do! Don't touch my camera! Get the fuck off the stage!
Saudi Arabians aren't funny enough. You don't see
Shut the
us.
fuck up, bitch!
First of all, let me explain something, all right?
You want fucking attention? Get off the stage, you fat fuck! Get off!
Hold on.
We're against Saudi Arabia, you dumbass! We talk about that all the time!
Oh, really?
We talk about that all the time!
You don't know what
know
I'm
shit! What, you think the lizard people are in charge?
No.
Is that what you think?
Hey, you're pissed. We're kicking your ass.
Is that what you think?
You're the anti-liberal and you're pissed.
Bullshit!
We're being nice here.
You know what I care about? I care about the American people.
Good. You're the one flipping out. Anybody hurt? I'm being nice. I'm not right.
Everybody get the fuck off my stage! Get the fuck off my stage!
Okay, we have to see that again, and in slow motion, and close up. Check it out. Your eyes do not deceive you, humble brazzers. You just saw Jimmy Dore spit water on Alex Jones's face. And I'm going to try to get a second angle here on this so you can get the real full benefit of having seen it. And here we have a second angle from the always awesome InfoWars and the always capable Paul Joseph Watson. As you can see, there is quite a kerfuffle going on there. And we're just going to get slow motion here real quick one more time. All right, there we go. I don't care what happens to you for the rest of the year. Always remember, never accuse the Young Turks of taking Saudi money. They take their money from Qatar. Get it right. Never underestimate Anna's power to shit talk and be an absolute troll. She has it. And never underestimate Jimmy Dore's cowardice and just being a nasty human being. All right, everybody, that's it for me. See you next year.
Arming yourself is bad, okay? And the Spitting Turks took the month away with that Jimmy Dore stunt. Thank you, Terry and Jason, for your contributions. Next up, we have August. Well, Well, I've decided to fill in for August, since both people on this month didn't make a video in time. This will therefore be a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing, and possibly not my best work. But here we go. Iran, children at the gallows. From January up to August, when this article was written, Iran has executed at least 230 people, according to human rights activists. While the rest of the world tries to get rid of capital punishment against adults in general, Iran continues to sentence girls as young as 9 and boys aged 15 to death. According to Amnesty International, at least 160 young Iranian people are waiting for execution. The death penalty for minors in Iran is invoked by what is considered to be Hodus crimes. Hodus refers to offenses which have a fixed definition and punishment under Islamic law. For example, those engaged in practices of alcohol consumption, adultery, and same-sex fornication will, in most cases, face the grave consequence of death. That's right, people. Young children being killed because of what the Quran says. There has been an amendment to the law saying that more or less, if a person isn't mature enough to understand their crime, they can't be convicted to death. But this hasn't stopped the courts so far. Moving on. The United Nations election. The United Nations Security Council is continuing its consideration of candidates for the next UN Secretary General with a straw poll set to be placed on August 5th, so it already happened. Backed by public debates and online campaigns, the selection process for the Secretary General has been the most transparent and accessible yet, driven in parts by tireless efforts from civil society. But the decision to appoint essentially rests with the Security Council's 5 permanent members, in what has been since 1946 a remarkably secretive selection procedure. One which has given us 3 Europeans, 2 Africans, 2 Asians, and 1 Latin American, all men, in 70 years. This process has never produced a female Secretary General. In 2006, the Secretary General election process included only 1 woman in 7 candidates. This time around, half of the current candidates are women, so there is no shortage of talent. Well, just because you run doesn't mean that you're talented. You could be a token woman, so to speak. Yet the initial signs are not promising. The Security Council's first straw poll in July the 21st saw only 1 woman among the top 5. The long selection process ahead must reverse the absurd male monopoly on the UN's top job. Why? The next Secretary General must be a woman and a feminist, with the determination and leadership to promote women's rights and gender equality. Why? Why does it have to be a woman and a feminist? You guys realize that there are other qualifications, right? And working for equality doesn't mean that you have to be a feminist. When the time is right and the right woman is running, then she will get the role. Up until then, I would much rather see people chosen on skill and effectiveness, even though the UN is more or less a joke these days. And that's all that we have for August. Moving on to September. Oh, wait. That's my month! Oh, now I'm all out of breath. Right, September. Mother Theresa got her sainthood this month. A sainthood usually takes decades after a person dies before it comes to fruition, but not Mother Theresa. Her sainthood was rushed. Not by 1 pope, but by 2 of them. I remember growing up not being religious as a kid, being told how wonderful Mother Teresa was, and believing in the stories, as most people in the West have. Now I will drop this off in the hands of a person far more qualified than me to explain. A person that was most likely rolling in his grave when the sainthood was announced, although I do think he saw it coming anyway. One of my favorite thinkers and writers, Christopher Hitchens.
Not many claims made by the Irish clergy are widely or uncritically accepted, even in Ireland. But the saintliness of an Albanian nun named Agnes Boiaciu is a proposition that's accepted by many who are not even believers. Mother Teresa herself receives extravagant adulation as no more than her due. This profane marriage between tawdry media hype and medieval superstition gave birth to an icon which few have since had the poor taste to question.
Mother Teresa is a Nobel Prize winner. She's a symbol. People in the West talk about her, so Indians adopt her at that level. The fact that what she does on the streets of Calcutta is really irrelevant to them. They couldn't care about it, and most of them don't even know. But Mother Teresa is the sort of figure you show to visitors.
Mother Teresa's flagship institution is her home for the dying, a hospice which purportedly sweetens the last moments of otherwise destitute lives.
My initial impression was of all the photographs and footage I've ever seen of Belsen and places like that, because all the patients had shaved heads. There are no chairs anywhere, there are just these stretcher beds, and they're like First World War stretcher beds. There's no garden, no yard even, no nothing. And I thought, what is this? This is 2 rooms with 50 to 60 men in one, 50 to 60 women in another. They're dying. They're not being given a great deal of medical care. They're not being given painkillers really beyond aspirin and maybe, if you're lucky, some Brufen or something for the sort of pain that goes with terminal cancer and the things that they were dying of. And I thought, what's the point?
Right from the very beginning, I wanted to serve the poor purely for the love of God and to give them what the rich people get with money. I wanted to give to the poor for the love of God.
They didn't have enough drips. The needles they used and reused over and over and over, and you would see some of the nuns rinsing needles under the cold water tap. And I asked one of them why she was doing it. And she said, well, to clean it. And I said, yes, but why are you not sterilising it? Why are you not boiling water and sterilising your needles? She says, there's no point.
Mother Teresa's cult of death and suffering depends for its effect on the most vulnerable and helpless, abandoned babies, say, or the terminally ill, who supply the occasions for charity and the raw material for demonstrations of compassion.
The first day I was there, when I'd finished working in the women's ward, I went and waited on the edge of the men's ward for my boyfriend, who was looking after a boy of 15 who was dying, and an American doctor told me that she had been trying to treat this boy and that he had a really relatively simple kidney complaint that had simply got worse and worse and worse because he hadn't had antibiotics, and he actually needed an operation. I don't recall what the problem was, she did tell me. And she was so angry, but also very resigned, which so many people become in that situation. She said, well, they won't take him to hospital. And I said, why? All you have to do is get a cab, take him to the nearest hospital, demand that he has treatment, get him an operation. She said, they don't do it. They won't do it. If they do it for one, they do it for everybody. And I thought, but this kid's 15.
But as a leading member of the Pope's fundamentalist tendency on matters of sex and procreation, Mother Teresa has made this single issue into her global crusade.
The greatest destroyer of peace today is the cry of the innocent, unborn child. If a mother can murder her own child in her own womb, what is left for you and for me to kill each other?
Tenderness about the unborn is an emotion that I share myself. But tenderness about the unborn also becomes an overtly political matter when it's preached by a presumable virgin who also campaigns against birth control.
that we will never allow in this country a single abortion and no contraceptives.
Here is a Western woman who has forsaken her life, albeit whatever life she might have had in Albania, for sacrifice herself for the people of the third world. It makes the West feel better, you know. This is one of us again, once again rescuing the third world.
Can you actually believe that this woman was sainted? The standards sure have dropped, I think. And this is not even half of it. There is so much more about corruption, taking money from dictators, and so forth. But I had to cut it short since it was going on 7 minutes. And we need to keep it short because there are still some videos left. Right, October's next, and the llama that is feeling kind of under the weather is taking the reins of this month.
Good day. So the month of October was a month of Bering's alleged doxing, where we got to know what Bering's first name is. Patrick. Hello, is this Bering?
No, this is Patrick.
Everyone went haywire, thinking that his full name had been doxed, and people went full complete retard.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
It was a fun time to be around, and it was also a time where I jumped the gun quite fast.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
We made a big stream, got Bering on it, and Bering sat there thinking, well, this is fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are gonna be okay.
So for anyone who doesn't know what happened, Bering was working with a company called Candid, a company that brags on having a chat system or some sort of social network system that is completely anonymous and that respects people's will to not be revealed. And Bering did a stream talking with the CEO of Candid. And when talking with the CEO, she referred to him as Patrick. This surprised everyone and still to this day makes it even more funny, since they were a company that prided themselves on being anonymous. The first thing she does, 4 minutes into the stream, is to dox Bering's first name. It was hilarious. So that was October. Enjoy.
Oi, Patrick! Get off the stage, you fat fuck! Radio, November. This frightful day for some that left them literally shaking. Let's see what Raksada has decided to show us.
Well, happy fucking New Year, everyone. So we got this little recap thing going on, and I'm doing November. And no, I'm not going to talk about the election. Everybody knows about it, and frankly, I've got election fatigue and just don't give a shit at this point. Instead, I found this lovely little article from BLM praising none other than Fidel Castro. Because, as some of you may know, he finally kicked the bucket November 25th. Hooray! Lessons from Fidel. Black Lives Matter and the transition of El Comandante. We are feeling many things as we awaken to a world without Fidel Castro. There is an overwhelming sense of loss, complicated by fear and anxiety. Although no leader is without their flaws, we must push back against the rhetoric of the right and come out in defense of El Comandante. And there are lessons that we must revisit and heed as we pick up the mantle and change our world. As we aspire to build a world rooted in a vision of freedom and the peace that only comes with justice, it is the lessons that we take from Fidel. The only BLM person I can think of that would have any reason to fear feel fear or anxiety is maybe that murdering cunt leader that they have that's currently got asylum there for murdering a cop. I really want to know what sort of justice they found with Castro. And I'm kind of scared to know what lessons they would like to take from him. Maybe killing dissidents, silencing all opposition by any means necessary. Yeah, those aren't really good lessons. Okay, skipping over the next few paragraphs. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Revolution is rooted in the recognition that there are certain fundamentals to which every being has a right, just by virtue of one's birth. Healthy food, clean water. I wonder how clean the water was in Cuba. Decent housing. Yeah, you should probably talk to some Cuban immigrants about that one. Safe communities, same there. Quality health care. Yeah. Mental health services. Free and quality education. Yeah, go ask some of the Cuban refugees how good of an education they got. Community spaces are democratic engagement. Castro was a fucking dictator. There was nothing democratic about him. And anyone who tried to, well, engage democratically, well, he either had them imprisoned or killed. Regular vacations. Yeah. Sports and places for spiritual expression are not questions of resources, but questions of political will, and they are requirements of any humane society, because, you know, Cuba under Castro was such a humane society. And a little more, blah, blah, blah. A final lesson is that to be a revolutionary, you must strive to live in integrity. Yeah, Black Lives Matter screams that. As a black network committed to transformation, we are particularly grateful to Fidel for holding Mama Assata Shakur, who continues to inspire us. Yeah, that's the murderer that's got asylum there, and she's inspiring them. That screams integrity. The rest of this is just a little more rambling, and this goes on with a little more bullshit when a little sign-off of Fidel Viva. Yeah, whatever. Fuck him. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Well, that was just a little touch of a recap from November. Castro's dead. Good riddance. Black Lives Matter. They love him for some... Well, that doesn't surprise me. They're fucking morons. Well, on that note, I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone. Take care of yourselves. And, finally, a word from our sponsor.
Stop, evildoers! Introducing super stretching superhero Stretch Armstrong. Yes, Stretch Armstrong. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
So, BLM and Castro, huh? Well, that's an interesting mix. I wonder if it's all to do about the asylum thing for Shakur. Right. And now we move on to the final month of the year, December. A month of Christmas lights, presents, toy store robberies, and fireworks. This month was a bit special for Faliure Accomplished, but I will let him get into this stuff himself. Take it away, man.
Hey, Faliure.
Hey, what's up, Lone?
Have you started working on Sith's current year special yet?
I was supposed to work on a special?
Yes.
What is it about, man?
The current year.
And I'm supposed to do what?
Make a video in a month about stupid stuff that happened during that month.
So I guess I have December?
Yes.
Shit, I haven't worked at it at all. I should stop playing fucking video games, huh?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Aloha Snuck Bar. That work?
This was the worst. We need acting classes. Going to Hollywood anytime soon, ladies. All right.
No.
No? Big thanks to Lone Wolf for helping me out with this intro. So, December 2016, huh? Yeah. A lot of things have happened this year, especially like, things like BuzzFeed and MTV putting out plenty of content for people to comment on. But for me, December is the first time I've ever had a account on YouTube get terminated for no reason, and it ended up being a glitch. But what's funny about that is YouTube never really addressed it. This glitch affected many channels, from small channels like mine to some channels that have like 1.5 million subscribers. I saw them affected the same day. And I even thought Baron got affected by this glitch that YouTube had. Eventually we found out that, Baron's thing was separate from the glitch, but eventually our accounts came back, but there was never really a reason. Like, YouTube just doesn't address anything that happens, and whenever they do address it, they just play it off like as if nothing's wrong, as you can see in this video right here.
We know you have a lot of questions about the subspeed on YouTube, and we've decided to go straight to the source. Zinzi is the product manager on YouTube subscriptions. We've been hearing reports from viewers that they've been unsubscribed from channels that they've been previously subscribed to. What's up with that?
We've heard these reports, and we take those feedback so seriously. YouTube doesn't unsubscribe people from channels.
But the problem is that there are people that have been unsubscribed from channels that they know they would never unsubscribe from. So what, are you calling us all fucking liars? I've had it happen to me.
Subscribing is a core part of the YouTube experience, and that's really the mission of our whole team, is to make that experience better. We've actually looked at over 100 individual cases, and so far, we haven't been able to find any underlying glitch.
I fucking find it ridiculous that their strategy for fucking finding an answer is like on the same level as like the staff of Family Feud. Oh, we went out and asked 100 people questions to get an answer. Oh, and it's yeah, there's no YouTube glitch. Fuck you, YouTube.
But as I said, we pay careful attention to your feedback, so please let us know if you think this has happened to you by using the feedback button in the app.
Oh, you know what, man? That's really nice of them. Let me see if I can find my feedback. Alright guys, so that's all I have to really say about December. YouTube has really done a shit job with this website in this year, and I still appreciate how good of a site it is as far as, you get to upload shit, and, it for the most part it works. It's just there's a lot of things as far as how YouTube runs it that is pretty shit. Big thanks to White Sith Mail for letting me do this video. Anyway, later guys. Oh, one last thing, guys. So, as you can see, I'm playing GTA 5, and, I wanted to do something silly in the beginning, so I did that skit with Lone Wolf, and, it's been a while since I played GTA Online. And after I was done with the recording, I went to sleep, but all of a sudden I got a email notification on my phone, so I check it out, and you know what it was? It was Rockstar telling me that my online account with them has been suspended for 90 days. For what? I have no fucking idea, but apparently they just say I violated their terms of service and that there's nothing you could do about it. So thank you, fucking big companies with your terms of service. And I tried looking it up online, but a lot of people that have had this problem, there's like really no way to like, reach out to customer service. And YouTube kind of has the same problem. There's really no way to really talk to somebody about the problems you have with the website. So yeah, fuck you big companies. Double finger salute or whatever. I'm not gonna fucking bother doing an image, but just imagine me waving two fingers right in front of my microphone. That's directed at YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. Also, fuck you, Rockstar. I like the game, but fuck you for fucking suspending me for 90 days. Not only did they suspend me for 90 days, they also reset my character, so that nice little motorcycle I had, fucking gone. Motherfuckers.
Well now, more controlling media platforms. I wonder how or when it will end. I'm thinking that we haven't seen the last of this damage control thing. But anyway, peeps, that was all we had for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this little collab. Next year will be so much better. So, thank you all for watching, and Happy New Year!
May the facts be with you, always.